Welcome to the Bald Brad Show. Ooh, that bass, huh? That bass, baby. You want that canola oil early in the morning where you can rub it on that body. It's good to see all you patriots again. We streamed hour and a half in the morning yesterday. Then we did Dark Mag at 4 p.m., which is a spicier version of the show, really a lot more spicier, for about an hour 15. And then we streamed for 3 hours and 30 minutes for the LA riots. We do have a goal over there on YouTube. We're trying to do something a little bit different to where we're not running ads on YouTube anymore. So we're trying something new on the lives to where we'll do goals. Hopefully, don't feel like you have to. If you want to chip in, we're doing goals over there on YouTube where, ad free. So we're trying to do an ad free experience over there because they're a bunch of commies and, well, they don't want to promote us or do anything anymore. So with that being said, we're jumping right into the news. No waiting. We got a morning brief here from the Daily Wire, which you always love breaking down because they go into, different aspects of what you need to know about. And that's what the show's all about. I did sleep for a little bit. As you could tell, I look like shit. But I had a blast hanging out with you guys yesterday. I really did. Thank you to everybody that showed up and joined. God, it was a hell of a time. It was a hell of a time. You could hear it in my voice. All right, well, anti-ICE riots spread. This is nothing new. This has been going on for 4 days, probably 5 days if it goes on tonight. What a dud last night, huh? Is these people come out, beating their chest and don't even do anything. Now, not that I want them to do anything, but at least, hey, I thought they'd be trying to fight the police. I mean, New York City was popping off more than anybody. At least they know what they're doing down there, huh? At least you could tell there's a sense of, they actually believe in, what they're thinking. Gotcha. In the last day, we've seen the demonstration spread. In San Francisco, for example, more than 150 people were arrested in San Fran, huh? After a riot began outside of an ICE office where cars and city buses were destroyed, storefronts vandalized, and police assaulted. In New York City, where we watched a lot of last night, we played a lot of the cops' music. Did anybody fall asleep listening to the cops' music? That's not even the cops' music. I don't know what I'm doing. At least a dozen protesters were arrested. You would think I would know, right? You think I would know the cops' music after us playing it for like 3 hours straight. What you want? What you want? What you gonna do? Shabba-dum, I'm coming for you. At least a dozen protesters were arrested outside Trump Tower after resisting police while attempting to shut down traffic. Anti-ICE organizers say they are planning demonstrations in Chicago, Austin, Dallas, Atlanta, and elsewhere. Oh, okay. We'll see how big they are because Los Angeles was a dud, but Los Angeles is still the epicenter of the unrest. A section of downtown is cleaning up after stores were looted and the area was vandalized, with a large Apple store robbed by hundreds of rioters. We also saw jewelry and shoe stores looted as well. It is ridiculous, one local business owner told News Nation. This doesn't look like they're protesting for ICE or anything, just looting the stores. Wasn't that how it always is? Wasn't that what Black Lives Matter was all about, where you weren't actually doing anything other than just burning down cities? And this is almost a, Black Lives Matter 2.0, but not to the scale. Not at all. I mean, it could develop into that if this is going multi-city, which it seems like it is, and it did yesterday. It was in Arizona, Chicago, Texas, California, New York. It was all across everywhere. Breaking down vehicles that we saw, destroying cop cars once again in Atlanta, harassing police officers there in Arizona, which we saw. And I really think this hasn't gone full blown because there's not much video of ICE going around and taking people out of their homes. So I think once that starts, then you're going to get people out in the streets acting amok again. So there was that one clip, right, of Tom Homan going in and arresting somebody, not specifically him, but ICE. And that's what kind of set this whole thing off, that they were doing ICE raids in LA. Well, you haven't seen that since. I'm not saying it's not happening, but what I'm saying is you just haven't seen it. So you see it again, I think we're going to have this whole thing pop off once again. Then you got Mayor Karen Bass continued to downplay the riots. Her, Hillary Clinton, Hakeem Jeffries, the whole Democrat Party kept playing this down, saying on Tuesday that the violence is only taking place in several isolated streets in downtown Los Angeles. There is truth to that. she was not wrong. We listened to her last night, which was terrible. It's like nails on a chalkboard. Ooh. Where she was, in a sense, correct, but also downplaying the violence. And I want to make sure we do watch that full clip of Gavin Newsom, because I think we missed some of it yesterday, where he was blaming Donald Trump for all this stuff. It's not even all of downtown Los Angeles. Bass has made clear from the start that she places the blame on the Trump administration. There you go. At some point, right? It's almost, there's two things they almost always have to inject in anything that they say. It's Trump's fault. Orange, bad man, bad, terrible guy. Just, oh, God awful. And then race. They always have to throw in one of the two. Oh, sorry, third one, January 6th. Those are the three. Trump, race, January 6th. If you don't get those three, they're not a true lib. Which she says provoked unrest with their raids and threat of bringing in the National Guard. Bass has also said that the media has blown the situation out of proportion and that the LAPD has the situation under control. I don't think so. We've been watching, Karen. We know what it looks like. I live here. I keep saying it. I have to say it. Because you want to know why? There's always people that go, well, what the hell do you know? It's not like you live there. Yeah. Uh-huh. Been through how many riots? We had the Hollywood shootout. You had the freaking LA riots, back in the late 90s. Then you had the Black Lives Matter protest. I mean, hell, Black Lives Matter at one point was talking about coming into my neighborhood. And so me and my buddy, my neighbor, Mike, we got out the rifles and we laid them out on the roofs, got the shotguns out. I mean, I got a lot. And, homie slept in freaking like black gear. You know, I love Mike, and I don't know if Mike watches the show, but Mike, you are like one of those like people, those neighbors from the movies that's like, go fuck him up, right? Just ready to go. Just total patriot. The guy's out there on his lawn in a lawn chair, smoking a Reagan cigar, wearing a Donald, I think it was a Trump cigar, wearing a Reagan Bush shirt with some sunglasses when Trump won in like 2016. It was hilarious. He had a victory cigar. Love the guy. Freaking legend. LAPD Chief Jim McDonnell said earlier this week that his force has been overwhelmed. Oh, what do you mean, Jim? What do you mean, Jim? She just said you had it under control. Right there. I highlighted it and everything. Karen Bass just said, quote, LAPD has the situation under control. Legitimately, the next sentence for those that are listening on audio, the next sentence. However, LAPD Chief Jim McDonnell said earlier this week that his force has been overwhelmed. Well, that's a little bit of a contradiction from two people that are basically there to protect and serve. Tonight, we had individuals shooting commercial-grade fireworks at our officers. No big deal. Look, you can blow your hand off. That's fine. Oh, a little eye damage. No, it never hurt anybody. Come on. That could kill you. We are overwhelmed so far as the number of people out there engaged in this activity. There is no limit to what they are doing to our officers, correct? So Trump deployed 700 military people. Love it. Military people. That's not, see, this is what happens when you start listening to these Democrats so much. You almost start talking to it like them. Like, that was the epitome of a Maxine Waters talk. You're out there protecting the people. Oh. So I heard a few of you yesterday got your panties in a bunch because I made an impersonation of RFK. Yeah. So we're gonna go to the chat again because I might re-upload this video. I actually took the video down because some of you your testes haven't dropped yet. So where is it? Hold on a second. We're gonna play this video of me doing my RFK impersonation, and we're going to the chat. So we did a test run yesterday for Dark MAGA because Dark MAGA has the hardcore Bald Brad fans in it, and they were all okay with this video clip. Because I posted it, and people are all up in arms about this video. So where is it? Hold on a second. Let me find it. Un momento. All right, here it is.
I'm going to be getting rid of the entire of the 17 members.
So fucked up. I'm sorry. I'm sweating.
Today, we are taking a bold step in restoring public trust.
Reconstituting. Okay. So Pat says it was a good impersonation. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Jeff. Anybody else think it was not a good one? Comics Dad loved it. Bet seems to like it. I like the guy. He thinks it's probably funny too. Thanks, Steven. Okay. It wasn't robot enough. Oh boy. Should I re-upload it? Or is it just gonna piss people off? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe I just do whatever the fuck I want. We'll see. I don't know. I kind of second guessed myself. I was like, I thought it was funny. I mean, who cares? The guy's awesome. All right, maybe I'll put it back. Maybe I'll just start. I'll do it on YouTube later today. Please comment on it because it helps, and we'll see where it goes. Vaccine panel gutted. So we talked about this yesterday. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but this is what we were reading, and people got upset over me doing a RFK impression. Maybe we'll try it again. I need to do it more robotic, which is really hard. I'm not sure if a good impression, but it was funny. You know what, Paul? You're lucky we love you, Paul. You're lucky we love you. Just kidding. I appreciate the honesty. I thought it was good. Well, you know what? Damn you, Paul. Now I'm pissed. Paul says, I'm not sure if a good impression, but it was funny. Whatever. Whatever, Paul. On Monday, Kennedy announced that he was retired all 17 members of the vaccine people, the ACIP. He said never recommended against the vaccine, even those which were later withdrawn for safety reasons. Failed to scrutinize vaccine products given to babies and pregnant women. Yeah, I would say that's a reason to get rid of them. Then you got college athletes payday. This is something that I'm not aware of, but we'll see what happens with the college stuff. College athletes can now be paid directly by their schools after a huge lawsuit was settled this week. Whoa! A new era has dawned in the world of college sports. Something that was illegal just a week ago, schools paying players, is now the law of the land. Whoa! Here we go. A settlement in the case of House versus NCAA. Did anybody hear about this? Did anybody hear about it? See, Shayla liked it. Okay. Thank you. We're getting some feedback here. All right. Okay. Maybe we will put it back up. Brad, you should eat your tortilla chips and play the song for the Mexicans. Oh boy, we'll set them off again, huh? Set them off. Arriba. Viva la Mexica. I love Viva la Mexica. Hello, Barbara. We love you. Whoa. All right, where was I? A settlement in the, this is interesting. A settlement in the NCAA of, what the fuck? I can't even read. Hold on a second. Let me wet myself. I'm still trying to wake up, man. I went to bed so late. You can hear it in my voice. You can hear it in my voice, can't you? We're out here with Dawn dish soap. Hold on, what? That's like a steak commercial. We're out back West House Steakhouse. If you want to get the butter on the buns, now's the time to get it. If you want to put the garlic on that beefy steak, then the Texas Roadhouse Steakhouse is for you, baby. Oh boy, look at that. That's a panty dropper of a voice, isn't it? Look at Jeff getting his boxers off. Settle down, Jeff, you psycho. If you love just big old buttery buns, Texas Roadhouse is for you. All right, where was I? A settlement in the case of House versus NCAA, a class action lawsuit, which claimed the NCAA was illegally limiting the earning potential of college athletes, has been approved by the U.S. District Judge. This agreement ends 3 separate antitrust lawsuits, and it means schools can now begin paying their athletes directly. Damn. So not only are you getting probably a free education, but yeah, somebody just said Texas Roadhouse stock just went up. Yeah, that's right. Look, I'm for sale. They can take the voice if they need it. So not only getting a free education, but now you could walk out of, look, you cannot know anything in high school. You could graduate because they just pass anybody through nowadays. And then you go to college and become a multimillionaire, probably. The first checks will begin to be cut July 1st. The settlement doesn't just affect current and future athletes. The NCAA will pay nearly $2.8 billion in back damages over the next 10 years. Whoa. So if any of you played NCAA, you might be getting a check. Who competed in college at any time from 2016 through the present day. The settlement comes with an annual cap, which, much like a salary cap in professional sports, that is expected to start at roughly $20.5 million per school year. Wow. Or per school in 2025. Wow. This coming year then. It will then increase every year during the decade. So if college wasn't already expensive, now it's going to be. Oh boy, now it's going to be. You got to pay for all these athletes. You know, the guy that's drooling into a drip tray during class that can't sit there and speak or do his multiplication tables, but yet he's a millionaire. Isn't that a remarkable thing? Doesn't that just show you how great this country is? That you can be a dweeb, be a major athlete, and just completely make it. Just make it in life. Isn't that amazing? Before, Darwin used to get you. You know, Darwinism, survival of the fittest, used to get you. My shoes aren't on tight. Okay, Brucey, settle down, buddy. We got to get you out on the field. We need your thunder thighs to do the work that they do. But here's $1 million check for playing football. These new payments are in addition to scholarships and other benefits the athletes already receive. You know, if they would have had this, I probably would have taken hockey a lot more seriously. Now, I did pretty well. I was a pretty decent player, not amazing. Some people said I was, but, you know, got to stay humble. Yeah, a lot of you really like that Texas Roadhouse, huh? Uh-huh. We'll get you more of that. Daddy ain't going anywhere, baby. Daddy's not going nowhere. It's okay. Come back. If your husband's in the room, tell him to leave for a second. This is for you, for all the ladies out there. Oh, boy. All right, well, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Good for them. Good for them. Now, there's something I wanted to get into, and it's a little bit regarding what's the real agenda behind this kind of what these going on with these ice rights, the chaos in LA, because it's a little weird, right? It's a little odd. There's not many people out there, by the way. So what's the real reason we are seeing chaos in the streets of Los Angeles? Well, one protester explained why exactly this is happening. If you want to know what drives the mindset of the rioters, then you should really take the time to listen to the people who are rioting, who are attempting to attack police officers and ICE agents. And that's why I think it's so important that you have a podcast host such as Moa that's always on social media telling you what people are saying, because there's no better evidence. There's no better oomph than getting it from a primary source, from the horse's mouth, as they freaking eat an apple through the fence out of the palm of your hand. So there was a protester. That was masked and wearing sunglasses. And he said, quote, "Everybody has the same enemy. From LA to Africa to Palestine to Vietnam. We all have the same enemy. There's one enemy. And it's not me. And it's not you. And it's not them. We are not the enemies of each other." Whatever that means. He pointed to who? Who do you think he pointed to? He pointed to the police, declaring, "They are the enemy, fool. There's only one enemy. And we all work together in unison to fight this one enemy, fool." Orale. Another protester interjected, "That's right. Capitalism, imperialism, and Zionism. Southside Playgirls. The faster we grow, the more we grow as people. You see what I did there, fool? The quicker we get this revolution and overturn this motherfucker and have real people, fool, leading this country." That's an exact quote. They all hate this. They all hate the isms, like the free market that brought them all their prosperity, so they can waste their time in the middle of the day in Los Angeles. Correct. You know, they're all capitalistic stuff, right? They're on their phones, right? They got their stupid headbands, scarves on. They're head everything. It's just, come on, give me a break. Yeah, they don't like capitalism, but boy, do they support it. Boy, do they support it. Yelling at police and imperialism is what they've been saying, which is presumably the reason they are standing on the soil of America, because most American people were not originally native to the country. He says Zionism, the belief that there ought to be a Jewish state in Israel. What the hell does that have to do with the illegal immigration riots in Los Angeles? Because it's all the same thing, though. That's why you're seeing people out there with the Hamas headscarf on. That's why you're seeing them waving the Mexican flag. They're the cartel lovers out there. They're the people that love trafficking your kids. All that stuff. They're all the same people, the same group. The left. The left. The answer is that for himself and his ilk, they are the same enemy. The system. Blame the system for all your problems. Rip down your system. See, if you blame the system and not yourself, that's a very easy thing to do, because then you don't have to change yourself. Because the moment you realize that you're the problem, the moment you realize that you're the idiot, then you have to really dig down deep and work hard to change yourself. And especially the older you are, and the more you realize, oh shit, I'm the problem, I'm the idiot, the harder it is to change yourself, because you've created such a habit that it's hard to get out of it. Tell me I'm wrong. How many of you have a family member that's just off the reservation? And I'm not talking about race, I just mean they're psycho. And you're like, that's who they are. Yeah. Auntie's crazy, crazy auntie. She's coming to the party, but we'll deal with her. She ain't going to change. Another protester, apparently an illegal immigrant from Mexico, by the way, stated, "We do not need the term illegal. We're undocumented, fool. We've been here for thousands of years before you guys ever showed up. Screwed up everything. We think we should organize together, with the U.S. working class and fight together, fool, and create a better system. We're anti-capitalist. We think socialism does work. Real socialism for Venezuela, not Cuba, not any of that crap. They were all trying to sell us up for socialism, man. But when we leave, fool, it will be a more humane system that will take care of most of the people's necessities." That's what they said. I'm reading the quotes. This is a real thing, by the way. You would think that with the voice, like, oh, Brad's just making it up. Brad's being silly. No. That's exact quote. You're welcome. This protester was asked for an example of what that system would look like. He said the first 40 years of the Soviet Union, which also just so happened to be the most brutal time of the Soviet Union under Lenin and Stalin. This is what, look, I'm not the most educated. I'll admit it. I've always said this. I'm no better than any of you guys, and I will continue to say that. I am like the Adam Carolla of politics. I could carry on a conversation, but I don't know all the lingo. I don't know all the stuff. If you ask me for definitions, probably would miss a lot of them. I'm not going to play it up like I'm a super knowledgeable guy. I'm not. Average Joe guy, just with a camera and microphone. That's all it is. And acts like an idiot on live air. But I'm not this dumb. I mean, we should all feel better about ourselves if there's other people roaming around the world that are walking around saying stuff like this. It just makes you feel better about yourself. You should leave this podcast knowing that you're a lot more intelligent than a lot of people out there, especially the people on the left. I'm going to read this again because I think it's that important for you to feel good about yourself today. I want you to listen closer, baby. Make sure your husband's out of the room. For all the gays out there, make sure your husband's out of the room. I want you to think real deep about yourself. And I want you to look yourself in the mirror. And tell yourself, Daddy Brad
says that I'm smart. And I'm beautiful.
Oh, shit. George, you know your ass is going to the bathroom right now and doing that. You know, George is in the chat on YouTube. Where he'll pull it up. Where's George? George, this one's for you.
Listen closely, Georgie. Georgie, you donated good money for this voice, didn't you, baby? Walk into that bathroom. And I want you to look at that beautiful mug of yours and say, Brad says I'm beautiful. And then take the lotion out of the bucket.
Whoa, Jesus, where do we go? What happened here? I zoned out. I'm sorry. I blacked out. All right. The protester, again, was asked for an example of what the system would look like. He said, the first 40 years of the Soviet Union, which also just so happens to be the most brutal time of the Soviet Union under Lenin and Stalin. So all of this craziness is just being spewed by these people out on the street. They're life losers, basically, because the people who are out there protesting right now, the ones rioting or waving Mexican flags as they drive a motorcycle around a burning Waymo, are not life's winners. These are not people destined for a long life of success and happiness. They are deeply unhappy human beings. Correct. And then we have to listen to their crap, them bitch, moan, and complain about breaking the law. And that we're the idiots. Well, then you have to listen from idiots telling that you are an idiot. Some of them are professional agitators. And many of these groups that are sponsoring these protests that are now turning into riots or burning cars or some violence against police and ICE agents are unions. According to the Wall Street Journal, unions are now rising up. Folks, unions, which have conflicted lately over how to deal with Trump, found an issue this past weekend over which to confront him: immigration. It came after the head of the state's biggest union was arrested here for allegedly obstructing federal agents from conducting an immigration raid. The union says he was, quote, peacefully observing. It's always that way, isn't it? Oh, I was just walking down the street and they arrested me. Yeah, it couldn't have been the 6 baseball bags of cocaine hanging out of your butt. That couldn't have been it. You always see that on cops, right? Where they pull the guy over. They're searching him, right? They're patting him down. They go, oh, what's this? What's this? That ain't mine. I don't know how that got there. And it's like one of those clown things, you know, where they keep pulling the flags out of the thing. Except this time he keeps pulling all this cocaine just out of the guy's butt. Out of the guy's butt. Let me get out. Let me get out of the frame, Jesus. There you go. Look at that booty.
If you want a good butter biscuits.
The booty. You keep pulling it out of that booty. So think about this on a logical level. Why would unions be in favor of illegal immigration? Illegal immigration undercuts the labor force, by the way. Danielle's kicking us off with the donos. Bless your heart. This is for Barry White / Sam Elliott voice. Yeah, Sam Elliott. Yeah. A lot of people might not know who Sam Elliott is. Shout out to Sam Elliott, always doing the Westerns. Love it. Love it. Thank you for the $5. Kicking off the donations. I appreciate that. Now we just need 9 more donos. Again, the purpose, I think, of the donations now are just going to be, I don't want to run ads on YouTube anymore. So screw YouTube. So now we can just do donations. I'm going to start grifting more. So again, why would the unions be in favor of illegal immigration? They undercut the labor base, which is the people that you represent. And illegal immigrants, because they are not legal, are very often paid less than market wages, or certainly less than union negotiation wages. So which is it? Because isn't the point of you as a union is to bargain? I mean, the baseline would be for more pay, right? Obviously, you want safe working conditions, certain hours, like all that stuff's obviously baked into the cake. But doesn't this underscore exactly what the motivation of a union is to unionize so that you can get more money? Again, all that other stuff is baked into the cake as well. So why are unions standing up for illegal immigration? It doesn't make any sense. They're doing so at the expense of their own membership. So what is the driving factor behind all of this that you're seeing? Well, the journal continues. Immigration made up 1/3, 33% of California's labor force in 2023. I'm going to say that again because I think a lot of people just spit out their coffee. I think a lot of people almost fell over or got in an accident. Immigrants made up 33% of California's labor force in 2023, according to census data, compared to 18% for the overall U.S. The data doesn't distinguish by legal status, by the way. It just says immigrants. Some of unions' biggest organizing wins recently have been in service workplaces where undocumented immigrants often make up an outsized share. Whether you're documented or not, you could be a member of a union, and those we represent, we vow to protect. Interesting. That comes from the spokesman for the AFL-CIO. What's actually happening is that illegal immigrants are joining unions, private sector union memberships that have been on the decline for decades in the United States because wages have not, in fact, stagnated. Wages have risen on a real-world purchasing power parity basis. So what exactly are the unions going to do? What the unions have been doing is going into workplaces where people are being paid below the union wage and organizing illegal immigrants. That's what they're doing. That is the reason why they are now seemingly in favor of widespread illegal immigration in the United States. The National Education Association President Rebecca Pringle, who doesn't love a good Pringle with them butter buns out there on the Texas Roadhouse? You get the beautiful women out there named Betty, and Betty will serve you up real good. You just got to drop in before we close, and we'll keep the lights on for you. There's a Motel 6 voice. Who gets paid $500,000 a year, was mobilizing the protesters, shouting, quote, "We the people, we the people, we the people, all of us have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." No, I'm still here. Some of you are like, "Oh, what happened to the podcast? He's not talking anymore." Why is the head of the National Education Association standing up for illegal immigration? Can somebody let me know? And illegal immigrants are allowed to teach our children in public schools? The last time I checked, the answer was no, by the way. No, because you don't know who they are. Why is she out there screaming about this? The answer, again, is that it's to rig the system on behalf of people who could not succeed in a free market or a free marketplace of ideas. Shouting about democracy in favor of people who literally cannot vote in the democracy because they are not here legally is crazy, but that is the coalition of forces that have been aligned because of mass illegal immigration in the United States. So, Democrats are all in favor of that. All in favor. And by the way, they are voting. They are voting. Of course they are. Of course they are. Well, we got some updates with China. Trump unveils terms of done trade deal with China. What does he mean by done? Well, we're about to find out, folks. If you're enjoying the show, hit that like button. If you want to drop a dono, appreciate that too. It's your hard-earned work money going. At least you know where it's going. It's going to me, and it's going back into the show. We got to pay for stuff. We're hurting. We're underwater. Not really. President Donald Trump said Wednesday that the United States and China had negotiated a trade deal awaiting only final approval from him and Chinese President Xi Jinping. The agreement includes, here we go, provisions on rare earth minerals, tariffs, and allowing Chinese students to study at American universities. Oh, of course, that's part of the deal because they ain't getting that quality education over there in China. Okay, they actually do get a pretty good education over there in China, but they need the American universities to steal our tech, to steal our IPs. You know, they need our research so they can go build their planes over there because they can't develop anything themselves. They can make it, but they can't think of it. Trump said that 55% tariff would be placed on Chinese goods coming into the United States, while a 10% tariff would be levied on American goods going to China. Quote, "Our deal with China is done." Should I try it in the Trump voice? Is that okay? Will you guys indulge me? "Our deal with the Chinese is done, subject to final approval with President Xi and the best president of the United States that's ever existed, better than George, better than Abe, me." Okay, I added in the George and Abe, okay? For those on audio, he didn't actually say that. He just said President Xi and me. full magnets. I got a lot of magnets on my fridge. Beautiful fridge. Luxurious fridge. Stainless steel, mind you. I love it. Melania loves it. And any necessary rare earth metals will be supplied up front by China. Likewise, we will provide to China, yes, the same China, the Wuhan people, what was agreed to, including Chinese students using our colleges and universities, which has always been good with me, has always been good. It's so hard to do this without laughing, you guys. I sweat just from trying to hold my laughter in. We are getting a total of 55% tariffs. Big money. China is getting 10%. Losers. Relationship is excellent. Thank you for your attention to this matter. It's fucking Trump. That shit he always throws. He always does something to make you laugh. Thank you for your attention to this matter. In all caps and exclamation mark. It's like he's yelling at us. Mark out here with the $20. Thank you, man. Holy lordy. With the $20. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Yes, Mark B coming in hot. God bless you. Holy lordy. Love it. Love it. Wow. So we got Danielle with the 5, I think it was. Let me make sure I go back and get that right with the fan funny. We got Danielle with the 5. We got Mark with the 20. Appreciate you guys. Dig it in your wallets for a bald man like me. The announcement comes after American and Chinese officials have been meeting in London to discuss trade. I feel like all this stuff regarding tariffs and trade has really just been watered out, like thrown under the rug, pushed aside, I guess is a better phrase, because of everything that's going on with these riots. On Tuesday, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said that the two countries had reached a framework to implement the Geneva Consensus and the call between the two presidents. Now, I think once this goes in, I think you're going to see the market kind of start rising again because the uncertainty is not there as much. Last week, Trump spoke to Xi for about 1.5 hours in a conversation that included discussions about rare earth minerals and trade. He had posted on Truth Social that Xi was very tough and extremely hard to make a deal with. Well, yeah, I mean, the guy, in a sense, I mean, China could be crippled in a way, and they are, which is always funny because I did a video on TikTok talking about the collapse of China, and it's as if these keyboard warriors cannot go online and just look up all this stuff themselves. It's crazy. Let me see if I can actually find it for you guys. One moment here. I have an image that I'll show you that is bonkers because I actually made a video, and it's just me destroying their argument. And why don't I just play it? Why don't I just play it for you? How about that? Just easier.
China is collapsing part 2. And you're going to want to listen up because what I'm about to tell you could shake the global economy in ways you can't ignore. Right now, China is drowning in debt, over 300% of its entire GDP, or $53 trillion and climbing. And it's not just about huge numbers. It's about real-world consequences. You might have heard of the skylines in Beijing that sparkle and these high-speed rail trains that roar through the countryside. But beneath the surface, what you're going to find is ghost towns, deserted malls, half-built apartments, empty train stations, and, well, signs of property and infrastructure meltdown that's happening right now. So why should you care? Well, because many of these mega projects that China has implemented are designed to stimulate growth, but they haven't paid off. China Railway, for example, alone is losing tens of billions every single year. Local governments are borrowing heavily, and now they're going broke. Their tax base is collapsing as real estate prices tumble. Homeowners are even boycotting mortgages after paying into unfinished developments. The CCP is scrambling. They're printing more money, using bailouts, raising debt limits, but these are patches, and these patches are just band-aids on a tsunami. If this empire built on borrowed money starts to crack, it won't just hurt them, it's going to hurt everybody. Global supply chains could break, your tech gadgets could spike in price, and investors everywhere might see losses. This isn't fear tactics, it's not a joke. You've seen the evidence, you can use the internet yourself. It's one of the largest debt crises ever recorded in human history. The question isn't if China hits a wall, it's when and how. And what happens and how it's going to happen and what it means for all of us is going to be pretty interesting. So buckle in, because this story is far from over. If you
There you have it. I mean, and this time I supplied the keyboard warriors, because they can't do it themselves. I supplied them all the articles that I pulled from, because they always go like this. These dweebs. Oh, I got to plug my nose. Where did you get the information from? Where's your sources at? Why don't you use the internet, you dweebs? Not you, Patriots. I would never talk to you.
Daddy would never talk to you like that. You know you're good with me. You know Daddy's good with you. Stroking. I don't know why I said stroking, but
you guys, it is really not hard to go into ChatGPT or something. You could take my whole transcript from my videos and just see where it's wrong, or say, hey, where's this guy getting this information from? Just a simple. I legitimately would say probably 5 minutes less, and that's me generous. I could probably do it in 2. I don't understand why it's so difficult to utilize the internet that we've had for decades at this point to find information about what somebody said to see if it's right or wrong. So the market's reacting right now. Here's the market. So here's when Trump took office. Well, actually he took office over here. So we are officially almost close to being where we were at when Donald Trump took office. So for those that are listening on audio, on January 21st, the market closed at 6,000. This is for the S&P 500, 6,050. We are at 6,040, almost 41 right now. And this is with the announcement just breaking. So it's going up. Oh, come on, give me something here. There we go. It's going to go up. So market just opened. We expect this to spike. So I think once this word gets out and we get more information on this trade deal, I think the market's going to completely rebound and exceed where we were even at when Donald Trump took office. Okay, so you can see it's almost evened out now. It's come back. What are they going to say now? What are they going to say now? Oh, they ruined my 401k. It's over. So now, if everything goes to plan, he only has one more thing, I think, to figure out if I have this correctly. And I could be mistaken on this one, so take this with a grain of salt. He would only have to get the 3 to 4% GDP. And we need the big, beautiful bill in there as well. So if he gets the big, beautiful bill in, because we need that for the tax cuts, that's why it's so important. And I want the border stuff as well, border security. Well, the big, beautiful bill, then not only are you going to be making more, you're going to have more money in your wallet. You'll be making more money. The economy will be healthy. And what are you going to complain about? What are you going to complain about? I'll tell you what, Q, I love you, baby. Q, who is our legal person that we try to go to when we need information, paralegal over here, shout out to Q. We've had so much fun this week. I love Summer Vacation Brad. Thank you for the $10, by the way. And I love Summer Vacation Brad too. Dude, this whole week, because I just started, I break starting Monday. But dude, I've been having so much fun with you guys. It's crazy. Peggy with the 20. For your sombrero riding in the Pacer, we need you safe. Thank you so much for the $20. Wow, Q with the 10, Peggy with the 20. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Oh boy. What do you call a building full of illegals? Let us know. Damn, you guys came out hot today. I appreciate that. Thank you to everybody over at YouTube. You're putting the people over at Rumble to shame. No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I should have said that. Rumble numbers just start falling. So this is good news. This is good to see that the market's rebounding, because look, a lot of us have money tied up in the market. I got some money in a 403B in this bad boy, and a lot of money, and it's good to see that rebounding. So I think that trend's going to continue. It could drop. There's a lot of if you look here, there's been a lot of economic events taking place, but the most recent one is the one I just unveiled, and that's the one kind of breaking all over the news right now is Trump China, which I hope does kind of break a little bit more. And I hope this stuff kind of overshadows what's taking place in Los Angeles. So here's Fox talking about it. I hope it overshadows it because, look, we want the economy to do well. And it's not that I don't want to make an agreement with China, but I still think it's important to start moving away. And I don't expect it to happen in 4 years, but I would say over the next 2 to 3 decades, we do need to start moving away from China. We cannot be relying on them for precious metals. We cannot be relying on them for all this manufacturing. We have to do it ourselves. It would be a different story if the world was peaceful. It'd be a different story if there wasn't governments that are crazy like Iran or like, quite frankly, China. They have concentration camps. They actually have slavery in China, by the way. But, you know, the left don't want to protest that. They'll protest here because Trump's terrible. Yeah, Trump's the bad guy. Not the people over there in other countries beheading people. Not the psychos in other countries that are throwing women's babies into fires and making them eat it. That's a real story, by the way. We have a lot of new viewers. I'm sorry to ruin your breakfast, but that is true. Okay. So you're like, whoa, Brad, hold on. You can't just gloss over that statement. Yes, out there in the Middle East, they're taking women that in some cases have been stolen, kidnapped, however you want to phrase it. And then these men gang rape them and they impregnate these women. This is a true story. It's happening all the time out there. And they'll give birth to it. And then depending, it doesn't happen the next day. It could happen like a week, 2 weeks, months from when they do this. They'll take the baby out of the woman's arms. They'll throw it into a fire, a bonfire, alive. And then they will give the baby back to the woman and make the woman eat it. They don't want to protest that stuff. No, Trump's a terrible guy. Trump's so bad. Yeah, Greta Thunberg doesn't want to make her ass to inside the Middle East where they don't like the LGBTQ plus community and women and start shouting that stuff. She knows what will happen. See, all these people know what will happen. They don't want to go to China and start protesting anything. They won't even go to Mexico and protest anything. Why don't they do this? What I want to see the left do, and these psycho / half buzzed head Democrats with their hairs and pigtails, I want them to go to Mexico because they keep saying, Viva la Mexico. Go to Mexico if you think it's so great. Okay, just do a little short vacation there. And I want you to immigrate there illegally. And then I want you to shout that you're an illegal to the skies. And then I want you to start protesting into the streets. And I want you to violently start attacking their police officers and lighting and tagging up their businesses. So light their cars on fire, light their buildings on fire. And then I want you to start assaulting their officers and just let me know what happens to you there. Because you're getting away with this stuff here. I want to know what happens to you. And I want aerial footage, 8K. I don't want 4K. None of this 4K stuff. I want 8K crisp footage. And I want to see what happens to you. Now, will they do it? No. No, they won't. No, they won't. Because they know what will happen. They're stupid, but they're not totally stupid. As they would say in Tropic Thunder, you can never go full retard. No, you cannot. Because you go full, you don't come back. Literally, you do not come back. We have other stuff that's coming out here in the news. Nearly 150 Democrats oppose bill banning non-citizens from voting in nation's capital. The Democrats, the voice of people that are not their constituents. The GOP-led House passed on Tuesday a bill to prohibit non-citizens from voting in local Washington, D.C. elections, overcoming the majority of Democrats who voted against the measure. They say stuff with their mouths, but then they do something totally different. I was told this wasn't happening. I was told non-citizens weren't voting. So how all of a sudden are they voting? A total of 210 Republicans and 56 Democrats supported the legislation, which bars foreign nationals from voting in local contests in the nation's capital and repeals a measure passed by the D.C. Council in 2022 that allowed it in the first place. Huh. You mean all those legacy media outlets lied to me? Really? Really? I'm in shock. I'm in disbelief. Another 148 Democrats voted against it. Of course they did. Of course they did. They're not for you guys. The Democrats have never been for you guys, especially if you're black. I hate to bring race up, but if you're black and you're a Democrat, that one's the head spinning one. That one is the head. You know what's even more head spinning? Was when black people decided to join the Democrat Party with all the racists during the civil rights. Well, they're not even during the civil rights movement. During the FDR initiative, because they wanted all the handouts. People go, oh, it's a racist thing to say. No, that's history, man. That is history. I don't care what history book you pick up. I know the left through their Howard Zinn revisionist history books have been trying to obfuscate that whole idea of history and kind of move that one to the side, but you can't. You can't. In 2023, the House passed a resolution from Oversight Chairman James Comer to block the enactment of the D.C. measure via the Home Rule Act. However, the Democrats who controlled the Senate at the time did not take the resolution up, and the bill went into effect. Last year, the House passed a similar bill from Folger, but it met a similar fate. So there's your proof. I mean, not that you needed it, but there's your proof that Democrats want illegals to vote in your elections. They are doing it. You saw it in New York. This isn't the first time they tried to do something like this. In New York City, and in other areas, they tried to get illegal immigrants to vote in their municipal elections. And then they're also having illegal immigrants start running municipal areas, which is bonkers to me. That's how you destroy a country from the inside out. And you're seeing it in real time. It's just happening very slowly. As I've always said, if you look at history, we are an outlier in terms of republics. An extreme outlier, by the way. An extreme outlier, which means that the further we move into history, or into the future, I should say, which, I mean, what other direction are you going to go? Am I right? You are getting closer and closer to that democracy, that republic, that constitutional republic ending. And you are seeing it slowly happen, unfortunately. And Donald Trump's not going to save it, unfortunately. All he's going to do is delay it. And this isn't just my words, by the way. I'm also getting this from other sources. The one that comes to mind is Thomas Sowell has talked about this, is that it's going to happen. America's already on its way of being already in a process of collapsing, actually, not just from a cultural standpoint, not just from a political standpoint, financial. You could do policy making as well. You've already been infiltrated by 25 million illegal immigrants. Your culture is completely changed. Politics is downstream of culture. They're changing your rules. They're changing your laws. So it's already spiraled. And I've said this again, I don't think there is a president. I don't think there's a Congress that could turn this around. And that's my honest take. I very rarely ever actually really give my opinion on here. And I really do mean that. I mean, hell, we'll plug it. We wrote a book about it. Trojan Horse, How the Left is Destroying America. Real book, good book, important book, timely book. And I was crafty of writing a book that I'm really interested in that really kicks the crap out of Democrats. If you love hearing somebody destroy Democrats with arguments, that's the book for you. And it's written in like a podcast form, like I'm talking to you. I wanted to find a book that could always be timely, that no matter if it's next year, it's still going to work. The following year, it's still going to work. 10 years from now, it's still going to hold true because the left are insane and their initiative will be to try to destroy this country from the inside out. Wild. So the big news yesterday, other than the raids, was Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump were talking to the troops, baby, in Fort Bragg. Damn, we love the troops. So Pete Hegseth was there along with the president. And man, the troops were riled. The boys were going, man. The boys were ready. So here's Pete. Oh boy, hold on, let me make sure everything's queued up for you fine patriots.
So at the Defense Department, we're doing 3 critical things at his direction. Number 1, we're restoring the warrior ethos. We're getting back to basics. Standards, accountability, readiness, training, warfighting, lethality. We're not a college or a university. We're not interested in your woke garbage and your political correctness.
Look at it. I mean, they are amped. We'll just go back a little bit.
Your political correctness.
The boys are riled, man. And see, Democrats are spending, what was it, $40 million, something like that. I think it was $20 million on how to talk to men. Some of you just spit out your coffee. Yes, the Democrats are putting forth an initiative. I think it's $20 million to figure out how to talk to men. Wild. So here's Trump, and the boys are jacked. The boys are amped.
Wow.
Wow.
That's a beautiful sight, and it's a beautiful sight to be with you in a place called Fort Bragg. Can you believe they changed that name in the last administration for a little bit? But we'll forget all about that. Well, we're going to forget all about it. I want to...
Dude, the boys are amped, man. I'm telling you, it's so cool. It is so cool. I love it. I love it. It's so nice to see the military back, man. It's so nice to see the military back. The boys are jacked. They're amped. They're ready to go. I love it. I love it. I guess there's some breaking news here about an hour ago from ABC7 confirms the criminal aliens arrested in LA included a murderer and a rapist with criminal records. I might as well show you this breaking news while we pull up our next article here. This was kind of who is ICE arresting?
Dozens arrested, but who are they? One person now in ICE custody is 49-year-old Kung Chon Phan. The feds say the Vietnamese national's criminal history includes second-degree murder. We confirm that through both court records.
I heard 8 gunshots.
And our own archives. Eyewitness News was there in 1994 when police say Kung committed the crime in the San Marino home.
3 cars pulled up in front of this home. 8 to 12 teenage gang members emerged from the cars, and at least 3 of them began firing randomly at people attending the party.
ICE also gave us the name and rap sheet of 44-year-old Armando Ordaz of Mexico. We confirmed his criminal history does in fact include rape, sexual battery, and petty theft. Dozens arrested, but who are they? One person now in ICE custody is 49-year-old Kung Chon.
Love it. Love it. And you know what? They'll be out there. They will be out there protesting for these criminals. Yeah, you heard that. It started with an R and ended with an ape. Yes, that's exactly what they will be out there riding for. They love it. Viva la Mexico. Viva love this and that. They're all for it. I guess Seattle's breaking out. I can't show that. It's a little bit too violent. But we have other news to take care of. Enough of the riots. If there's anything breaking, I'll make sure I bring that up to you because we got another idiot here. If those psycho illegals weren't enough, we got this psycho right here, Joy Behar. Joy Behar. Well, Joy predicted on Tuesday that President Donald Trump's decision to deploy the National Guard to Los Angeles was likely to result into another tragedy like the one that played out in Ohio Kent State University in May of 1970. Behar made the comments during a regular broadcast of ABC's The View, as she and her co-host continued to complain about Trump and claim that the violent riots where federal agents had been targeted and property had been destroyed were peaceful and orderly until the National Guard arrived. You know what, this one, I'm going to take the hit. I'm going to take the hit for this one because every time I show a clip from Disney's ABC, they flag me. So I just want to preface, if you are watching the recording of this and you're not watching it live, this video is gone because I'm going to delete this portion of the podcast because it doesn't really matter because we're not even monetized anymore. Well, I mean, we're monetized, but we're not running ads. So you know what? Screw it.
But are people getting a much different view of what's going on in LA depending on where they're watching this play out? Because it's quite different when you're talking to people in LA. Yeah. And very different than what you're seeing on the news. Did you speak to people?
Have you spoken to people in LA?
My whole family's in LA.
What do they say?
They're saying, people are mad. It's been peaceful for days. Oh. And then suddenly these guys showed up and flipped everybody out.
Yeah, sure. I heard
that's what my family is saying.
I heard the same thing. I spoke to about 5 people that live in LA, that work in LA, and they said that these protests were very, very orderly. They weren't violent, and they occurred in about a 4-block radius. And we all know how large LA is. And so, in my view, there is no crisis in Los Angeles that ICE did not cause. That is the fact of the matter, right?
Looks like that.
And
There's no homeless crisis, you guys. There's no drug crisis. There's no people passed out on fentanyl on like every street corner. No, there's no debt crisis that's taking place. There's no illegal immigration crisis that's taking place. What an idiot. Talk about living under a rock.
We now know that Stephen Miller ordered his order that they arrest 3,000 people a day, that ICE arrests 3,000 people a day, led to this. And
isn't that a remarkable statement to make? Oh my gosh. Oh, here we go. She has more to say. I know I'm subjecting you to this, but we got to document it nonetheless.
Also say is, you know, California is the largest economy in the United States, has the largest economy. And it has sort of it's the largest state, and it has a GDP that's larger than many countries. And so I think we have to look at what's happening from a bird's eye perspective and look at the why. Trump is militarizing that state as a test run to make sure that he can do it in places like New York, that he can do it in other sanctuary cities. And so there is a plan to this, in my view. Mm-hmm. And I really think that there's no question that the LAPD, that has 9,000 police officers, could have handled this quite well. But instead of sending in 7,000, 4,700
I think.
Yeah, what a wealth of knowledge she is, isn't she? She's hot, but she's crazy, man. It's always the hot ones that are crazy. You know what I mean? You know, let's can we do a palate cleanser? Are you guys okay with that? Because we just got done watching The View, and I think all of our IQs have dropped a little bit. Let's do a palate cleanser here. Anybody else getting goosebumps, huh? There's a palate cleanser for you, baby. God, it's nice to see just men, you know? It's nice to see men not wearing women's skirts. It's nice to see men not wearing makeup. Just men. Get the boys out there, you know, and treat them right. You know, get them a good meal. Let them fire off a few munitions, you know what I mean? Gotta let them have a good time. So we got more updates regarding Elon Musk and Donald Trump's feud. The drama queens. The bromance might be back together. We will see. After a week of public feuding, billionaire entrepreneur Elon Musk delivered an apology to Donald Trump on X. Whoa! Breaking. Hello, breaking. Musk, who recently deleted posts warning that Trump... Okay. So he did delete it. If you recall, I don't know if it was on the podcast yesterday or Dark MAGA. This was my question. I said, did he delete that Epstein post? And I remember how I said, I'm not going to filter through all his posts to try to figure out if he deleted it or not. Update. Here we go. I got goosebumps. I would love the bromance to work, man. I really would. Musk, who recently deleted posts warning that Trump was named in the files recently, or relating rather, to the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, had mostly broken with Trump over the One Big Beautiful Bill, currently moving through the Senate. He went so far in a number of posts to call for people to vote against anyone in Congress who supported it. In his Wednesday morning post, however, he voiced regret for how far he'd taken his attacks. I regret some of my posts about President Donald Trump last week. They went too far. Does this not fit my analysis that I said a couple days ago? Does this not fit it? Remember how I said sometimes people just lose their shit. Some people go off the rails. You know, I'm not like this, but I've seen it. You know, where a guy and his wife are going at it. I'm not saying physical, but they're screaming at each other. And they go, oh yeah, you fucking pig. Oh yeah, you think you're the shit. You know what I mean? They go at each other, start name calling each other. Oh, fuck you, bro. Oh, you piece, you don't know shit. And you say a bunch of harmful things to each other, but you really love each other. And I mean this hand to God, hand to Bible. I don't do that. I don't even actually yell. I don't like yelling. And you love each other. But we've also been with that friend. Mostly it's the women. I'm sorry, women, but hey, heads up here. We're coming at you. I'm not saying guys don't do it. Please understand, ladies. Come back.
Come back to Daddy, Brad. Daddy didn't mean it. Oh, buttery buns, I didn't mean it.
But you all know what I'm talking about, where you've had that friend. It might have been college, it might have been middle school, it might have been high school. You know, she kind of went off on you a little bit, or you might have went off on her. We've all said some shit. And forgiveness needs to be in play. And I think their friendship was real. And I'll tell you why. It's because Trump, anybody that goes against Trump, he destroys. Trump destroys people that says anything remotely bad about him or goes against him. How many times? He's a scumbag. I saw the guy eat soil. Soil. It's disgusting. The guy's a rodent. He's a cockroach. Little Rubio, Lying Ted, right? Sleepy Joe, Crooked Hillary. He destroys everybody and he creates a name for them. He never did that with Elon. You know, he said, yeah, the guy went, he's gone crazy. I don't know what happened. He popped off. I've said that about friends that have gone and said shit about me. I go, I don't know. The guy just like went off. I mean, my best friend in high school, he's like my brother. I haven't talked to him in like a decade. We just stopped talking one day. I don't know why. Haven't even called him. Haven't talked to him in 10 years. The dude was like the closest person in my life. Like I literally classified the guy as a brother. Don't even talk to him anymore. Don't even know why. Never even talk shit. Just stop talking. Crazy. Well, granted, I know why. You don't ever want to hang out and stuff. Whatever. But you know what I mean. So I think these guys were legit. I believe these guys were legit bromance, man. And I hope they mend it. I don't know if it can be. I mean, it's not easy when your buddy goes on a megaphone to the world and calls you a pedo. That's not exactly cool. He should come out and say, look, I lied. He's not actually in the Epstein files. I mean, that would be cool, but whatever. Despite being at odds over the budget bill, Musk said would undo the work he and so many others had done in the Department of Government Efficiency, Project Cut, Blow, blah, blah, blah. So, and I'm wondering I don't know if he noticed or if JD Vance had some sort of take on this, because JD is the middleman between Trump and Musk. Musk is JD's friend. So I don't know. I think a lot of people wanted them to make amends. And it seems mostly one-sided. It seems mostly like Elon was the one that lost his crap. And maybe a little of his personality showed. I'm not exactly sure. But, Trump loves Elon. And maybe Elon loves Trump. I wish there was more to it. I think sometimes people analyze. Do you guys feel this too, that some podcasters overly analyze things when mostly everything's, what's it called? Occam's razor? Is that what it's called? I think it is. Where it's like, we don't need to play into the philosophy of somebody. Oh, well, if you look at, like Freudian's philosophy, or if you play into the laissez-faire economics of the policy itself, what you will find is that history has said that going back to the 1960s was really when we saw a change in the economic form of distribution of the GDP to debt ratio. And well, if you move forward into Keynesian economics, what you will also find is that moving into the 80s with Reagan, well, Reagan did mostly what we know down today as a trickle-down economics form. And when you really break that down, what you're going to find is that Reagan was able to really stimulate the economy and make the movement happen. Now, the philosophy behind that is mostly conservatism and fiscal. Now, fiscal is different than Republicans, and what you're really going to get that from is laissez-faire economics, laissez-faire philosophy, more of an Aristotelian point of view. Like, shut the fuck up. Do you know what I mean? Like, can we not do that as conservatives, Republicans all the time? Stop breaking things down so much. It's not that deep. The guys went at each other. That's what these gorillas do. We go at each other and then we let it go. We say, hey, come over. You said some shit. Let's have a cigar. Let's hug it out and shit. Let's look at a bonfire for a while. Guys are not that deep. Do you know what I mean? We're not. I'm going to look you right in the eyes. We're not that deep. How many times, this happens to me all the time, And I know, ladies, listen up, because I know you experienced this. And it's nothing bad against you. How can you have the sexy voice in this one too? Exactly. You're welcome. You're welcome. You like the sexy voice, huh? Hey, what's going on, baby? Hey, come here real quick. It's just you and I. Just you and I with the lotion and the music. I could go so much. This is weird. I'm creeping myself out. So, ladies, how many times has a guy come home after work and released a bombshell of an update about some drama at work or with friends? Like, oh yeah, I heard Janice is sleeping with her boss. And you're like, holy shit. It's like the biggest news, right? You have no drama in your life whatsoever. And your husband comes home and he drops that bombshell. And you start salivating. Like, you couldn't be any more giddy for what you're about to hear. You're about to hear the greatest drama of your entire life. You put everything aside, all those crazy ass thoughts, those emotions that are like a roller coaster in your damn head throughout the day just disappear. You're just elated. You start levitating off the ground. You're in excitement that your husband has brought you gold. And this time it's not chocolate. And what do you all do? Well, when did it happen? Was it last week? What'd he say about it? And what's the answer we always give? What is the answer we always tell you? I don't know. Not sure. And then you always have to give a follow-up question, right? Well, what was like the motive? I have no idea. We don't know anything beyond that one thing of that Janice was sleeping with the boss. That's all we know. We never asked any follow-ups. We never asked when it started. Nothing. We don't give a shit because we're simple. And then you keep going. Well, what does Janice think about this? No clue. But you all know what I'm talking about. All of you know exactly, and everybody in here has been through this same exact scenario. Well, do you think your boss is going to get caught? No idea. No clue. Everybody's been through that. And if you haven't, it will happen. And then you're blown away, right? You can't believe it. We're coming back to this. You can't believe that he doesn't know anything. This is like the best news you've heard, the most gossipy of news. Love Island doesn't do it for you. The reality TV, Survivor's not killing it anymore for you. You need something. You need the drama to feed into your veins like a needle, like a little druggie out there in LA. You need it, baby. You need the drugs. You want the drugs. You want daddy's drugs. And you need him to feed you the drama. And you don't get it. You got blue balled. Suck it. All righty, back in the news. There's no other show on the internet like this. I don't think there is. I really don't think there is. You let me know if you find it. I want you to email me the person's link. Who goes multi-hour with this type of energy, screaming into the mic, talking in deep daddy voices, and maybe a little Lucy off the reservation. I'm drooling a little bit. I don't know why, but I'm drooling. I think it's the voice. All righty. What else do we have here? We have other amends being made. I don't know what it is. People are coming together. People are really coming together. And the skirmish between Riley Gaines and Simone Biles has allegedly come to an end. It seems like Simone Biles has come to her faculties. For the past week, Americans have been glued, mostly the ladies, because you love the drama, don't you? You love the drama. Glued to an ongoing social media exchange between Olympic legend Simone Biles. Oh, don't tell me you're not into the drama. You guys with that Johnny Depp Amber Heard case, we're fucking all over it with your bonbons and Cheetos. Give me a break. Really? You're not into the Blake Lively stuff that's happening right now, ladies? You're not into that shit? Really? You're not into the P. Diddy case with the baby oil? Huh? Yeah, you're into it. Come on. Come on, you love it. The confrontation between You know, I'm gonna milk this one.
Daddy's gonna milk it good.
We're fucking, all right, I'm done. I'm done with the voice. I'm so sorry. I'm done. Let me collect my thoughts, damn it. Yes, I'm laughing at my own stuff. Get over it. You could join me if you would like. See, it's not the other way around. It's not me joining you guys. You guys get to join into my fun. I have this much fun on my own. If I was doing the show, if I wasn't doing the show, all these thoughts would be happening in split seconds. Can you imagine what's going on up here that I don't tell you? Can you imagine all the content that's in my head that is just firing off like pistons, like that I'm not saying on the mic? That's how my head works. And if you think I'm kidding, I am not. The shit that this thing comes up with, and I'm pointing to my head on audio, that I don't say, that's just awesome. Like, well, Brad, why don't you tell us? Well, because there's psychos in here that clip stuff and they get upset. They can't take a joke. My own audience can't even take the RFK joke. We're out here making up vaccines for everyone. They can't even take a joke. The confrontation began when Gaines shared a photo of a Minnesota high school girls softball championship team whose star player was reportedly a boy, promoting Biles to attack Gaines on social media, calling her truly sick and a sore loser who was campaigning against transgender athletes simply because she had lost the race. Oh, okay. Well, Gaines fired back. If Simone's inclusive dream came true, she would have 0 Olympic medals and no one would even know who she is. I would like to point out Gaines is 100% correct. If you look at the difference between what it takes, the bare minimum, for a man to be in the Olympics, there has never been a woman in history that has met that marker. If you applied men's standard, listen carefully, because I'm actually using my words very carefully myself. If you applied men's standards to women in the Olympics, as of June 11th, 2025, you would never, ever see a woman, anything in that range have a medal. There would have never been, and would never have been, a woman being a medalist at all. Not even close. Not even close. But there's no difference between men and women. The thread rocketed across timelines not only because it was fiery, but because it issued a referendum on manhood. It asked every male coach, father, and teammate,
are you strong enough to sit this one out so women can compete? Or are you weaponizing your strength to win medals never meant for you, sucker?
That's the question we have to ask. Well, in a piece from the Daily Wire, this person wrote about the left's slow, hostile co-opting of the world's masculinity, but it's not enough to identify what went wrong. In order to help save American men and American society, we need to ask ourselves, what should men get right? The Biles-Gaines saga gives an opportunity to answer that question. Riley Gaines has fought valiantly, to keep men out of women's sports, as many other brave female athletes. But this saga should cause all American men to ask themselves, where were the men in this situation? Where were the fathers telling their sons, however you identify, you may not line up in girls' starting blocks, or telling their daughters, if anyone tries to silence your voice, dad's voice will echo louder. Well, because everybody likes to coddle their kids. Coddling this whole generation. So there was a post by Simone Biles that basically did. I want to see if I can find it for you. Making amends. There we are. Here it is for you. So I apologize. Simone Biles backs down and Riley Gaines spat, calls for fair competition. So here we go. I wanted to follow up from my last tweets. Biles posted Tuesday on X. I've always believed competitive equity and inclusivity are both essential in sport. The current system doesn't adequately balance these important principles, which often leads to frustration and heated exchanges. And it didn't help for me to get personal with Riley, for which I apologize. And you know what? I accept her apology. Like, Brad, it has nothing to fucking do with you. What are you talking about? It doesn't matter. If I was Riley, I would accept it. That's fine. And by the way, I think it's important to publicly accept people's apology, especially the fact that she actually used the word apologize. Now, whether she means it or not, I'm not sure. Nobody really knows other than Simone Biles herself. Like, could it be a whole legal thing? Like her PR team came out and said, holy shit, we're on fire. We're taking in water. Maybe. But I think it's important for society to bring back forgiveness. You guys, for all I know, there might be some shit about some girl I dated 20 years ago. Oh, the guy treated me like shit. I'm an introvert. I'm quiet. I don't even really talk. I don't know how I could treat you like shit. I don't really talk. I don't even go out. So what the hell are you talking about? But they'll come out, right? There's always these psychos that make shit up. And then, say I did. Like, say I didn't. I'm trying to think of something I've done that's bad. I just fucking don't even go out. Let me think about it for a while. Calm down. Give me a second. Jesus. Maybe name called a girlfriend in the past. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Wouldn't surprise me if I did. Like, maybe called her a hoe or something. I don't know. Anyways, let's say I did something like that. I would come out and say, yeah, I apologize. I was an idiot back then. I really did some stupid stuff. Would you guys forgive me? Probably. We've all acted like idiots in the past. I'm sure I know some of you been to jail. How about that? I know some of my community members been to jail. I forgive you. And look at that. We're friends. Life goes on. We've all done stupid shit. We all act like we're all holy. No, we're not. We're all sinners. Don't get me into my Bible speech here. You guys know I'm a Christian. Don't get me going. We're all sinners. We all do stupid stuff. I still do stupid stuff. All the time. All the time. You learn from your mistakes. Sometimes you don't. So you got that going on. You guys having a good time in the chat? I see you guys popping off over there. Appreciate you. Thank you for everybody joining me. By the way, we have more people watching on X than we do on YouTube. Isn't that I'm just going to hound this again because we always have a lot of new people following us. For if you're new here, I have over 100,000 subscribers. Why don't I show this? I'm going to show you guys really quick. I don't want to mess up my book. I got to make sure I don't show my stuff. Okay, right here. You hear that? It's still in there. This is the YouTube play button. Okay. Let me show you. Oh, I just dropped my stuff. All right. Let me take it out of the box so you can see that it's real. All right. I have one of these. See that? There you go. There's your proof. You could have made it yourself, you idiot. Okay, I could have, but I didn't. I have the paperwork to go with it. Now, how the F is it possible that with over 106,000 subscribers on YouTube, I have 38 people watching? I have, how many followers do I have on X? I have 379 followers on X. And there are more people. I have 53 people watching on X. I have more people with 379 followers on X watching me than I do with 106,000 followers on YouTube. And YouTube says that's normal. Mm-hmm. Sure the fuck it is. Sure the fuck it is. Yeah, no, that's completely normal. Yep. By the way, I have 2,000 followers on Rumble, and I have more people watching on Rumble than I do YouTube with 106,000 followers. That's normal. Yeah, that fucking makes sense. I got some guy in India that's talking to me about YouTube because he's a YouTube specialist. Tell me that's normal. Yeah. Oh, completely normal, sir. Oh, no. Sure. Fuck it is. Yeah, what the fuck do I just teach AP statistics. I don't know shit though. Now I don't know everything about stats. I don't know everything about math. My math knowledge is actually very limited, believe it or not. But I teach the shit out of stats, let me tell you. And that ain't fucking normal. I don't care who you are. Brad, I think it's because you are bald. Yes, George gets it. Damn it, George, you get it. Georgie. See, that's my sexy name for George. Only when, George, listen carefully, only when he donates do I say what his sexy name is. You know what to do. All right, we're not done yet. We're not going. It's summer. Yeah, I'm out of breath. Okay, I'm working hard for you guys. All right, let's see here. I want to see what's breaking for a moment before I pull up my next thing. We have here. Miss Mom, okay, y'all. We have to get Brad to his goal today, so we don't have to listen to ads. Loving off school, Brad. Appreciate that, Mary or Miss Mom. Thank you so much. With the $5 over there, thank you. God bless you guys. Yeah, we only need 5 more people to come in hot. People are calling out George. He said no. Love it. Oh God, we have the best community. We really do. We're a small community, but damn, are we tight knit. Damn, are we tight knit. I'm trying to egg George on. For every $1, Brad could get a hair transplant. You get 1 piece of hair for every $1. Where are we at here? People are calling for civil war, I guess. It seems like civil war is trending currently. And I don't know if this is a Steve Bannon thing or what, but people say the metastasized because of POTUS. It didn't. You're under assault. The moment you try to deport, they hit you in the courts, the media, and on the streets. This isn't civil war. It's part of World War III. You know, I see a lot of people saying stuff like that, but I could see that if this escalates to multi-cities and really starts popping off, I could see it turning into potentially civil war. I think at some point people would have enough where all it takes is a small fringe group on the right and of the left to just start clashing with each other and this whole thing just really popping off. I could see it getting bad. I really can. Karen says, I'm pissed at the rich bitch, Simone. She got her medals, money, fame. Now she is dumping on women competing against only women. Yeah, but that's what they do, right? They forget who made them big. I will never forget you guys. And yes, I am petting my mic for those that might be doing something else. Yeah, the mic is you.
And I'm whispering sweet nothings in your ear, baby.
But I hate that, man, where people don't remember where they came from. Do you know what I mean? And I'll give you an example. Harry Potter. Yeah, I'm going to go on a Harry Potter rant right now. Why not? I love Harry Potter. And why is it the guy that plays Draco Malfoy is the only original cast member going back to do Harry Potter and the Cursed Child? Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you have, what's his face? Hold on a second. Let me pull it up for you. I forgot his name. The guy plays Draco Malfoy. Coming back to do the play. Now, I saw the play at the Pantages. And he's the only one coming back. Right here. Tom Felton is his name. And he gets his roots. This is a guy that understands where he came from. And I love that. Daniel Radcliffe's not in the picture. Emma Watson, total babe, she's not in the picture. Screw him. Tom Felton, you, sir, are a legend in my books because I think it's important to always remember where you came from and who the F made you famous. J.K. Rowling and all of us. And it always bugged me where people just completely shun off because maybe they're tired of it. Maybe they don't want to be typecast. You know what? The only reason you're able to be typecast is because you were made famous because of those movies. How about you show a little bit of love to the audiences and bring back the original cast in stage? Can you imagine how much those tickets would be going for? They sold out. People were in line. Like there was people, I saw images of people, they were like 52,000th in line to buy those tickets just to see Tom Felton and one of the original cast. Can you imagine if all three, I got goosebumps talking about it, all 3 cast members were on there? I would fly to New York for it. I would fly to London for that. I've never been to London, which is funny because half my family lives over there. But anywho. All right, let's get into more news here. Let me make sure I get this stuff taken off the screen for all of you. I want to get to a little bit of Trumpy news because we love Trump here. We voted for Trump. We love Trump. Trump's great. Trump. Let me see here. Trump is talking about his, I don't know whose interview this was with, but he talks about his, just how he's a workhorse.
I really think when you're born a certain way. Yeah. And even before you can speak and everything, you're sort of a certain character. Yeah. And as you get older, you don't change that much. No. You can change a little bit, but and you want to change for the better. But You're born a certain way. You're born with a certain energy. Yeah. A lot of people don't have energy. If you don't have energy, it's going to be a tough life. But they don't have energy. To be successful, you need energy.
It's true.
You have to be able to go hard and long. Now, you need a lot of other things.
Indulge me.
You have to be able to go hard and long. You have to be able to go hard and long.
You hear that, guys?
We got to be able to go hard and long.
Now, you need a lot of other things. You need a lot of things, but you do need energy. I see people with that energy. They're really smart, but they don't have the drive necessary to be successful. Yeah.
Thank you, Stephen, for the $5 over at YouTube. We only need 4 more people. 4 more people. Appreciate you. God bless you. Thank you. And you guys, it's a big deal when somebody makes a donation, $5 or more. You guys work hard for that money. There's people that will, thanks, Steve, for the 5. And they'll just move on. I want to make sure I acknowledge everybody that puts in their hard-earned money because you guys work your ass off for that. And you took the time to give it to me. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. And again, I always want to be clear. 100% of the money that we make here on the show goes back into the show. So it's not like I'm buying vacations with this stuff. It's not like I'll buy new equipment that goes back into the show. But I'm always clear about that. It's not like it's going back into, pay for groceries or something like that. I think it's important for you guys to take your efforts and that it goes back in. Now, some of you say, hey, use this $5 for coffee or something like that. I just do as you say. Then I go get a cup of coffee or something. So I want to make sure I'm clear on that. I have not forgotten. Some of you told me to buy a new mug. I have not forgotten yet because this one has a chip in it. You can see it right there. If you want it, these things last. I dropped this off the countertop and it landed on a hardwood floor. And that's all that's happened to it. Still works. Only mug I've ever had from the Ball Brad Show, and I love it. I love it. We're getting into more news here. People keep talking about inflation. So we have an update here. Let's see if we're able to actually get to it. I guess we're not. We're not able to see the Financial Times. There we go. We got it. All right. So the Financial Times says U.S. inflation rose less than 2.4%, less than expected. So this is good news. This came out 2 hours ago. This should help the numbers that we're seeing at Yahoo Finance with the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones, just the economy in general, the market, I guess I should be more specific. U.S. inflation rose less than expected to 2.4%. Now, generally, you want to see inflation between 1 and 3. So this is within the ballpark. 1 to 3% is about a normal expectation for inflation. That's where you want to keep it around. Signaling Donald Trump's tariffs are so far putting only modest pressure on consumer prices. Wednesday's annual consumer report index figure was below the 2.5% predicted by analysts survey by Bloomberg, but above the 2.3% recorded in April. So it has rose a 0.1%. The core measure, which strips out changes in food and energy prices, remained flat at 2.8%. So really nothing's changed all that much, which is a good thing with Trump having the pressure, the boot on China's face and everybody else. Here's some more graphs for you, more time series graphs. You got core inflation, all items. So things are definitely on the decline, which is always good to see. The boost to consumer prices from the tariffs remains microscopic for now, but these could have long-term effects. Though that's entirely in keeping with past evidence showing that retailers usually take at least 3 months to pass on costs to consumers, meaning that this could end up spiking in the next couple months here. C-Dog with the $5, 3 more people for the hard work today and last night. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And shout out to you, dude, for always liking my posts on X. I always get notifications when you like them, and you like every single one, which I appreciate, man. Thank you so much for always supporting. You always leave a comment on the videos. Definitely recognize the name. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Not that I don't see anybody else do it. I see all of you. I'm just saying. I see C-Dog a lot. The guy's a lot. He's a C and he's a dog. Like China, like a dog. Still, Daniel Hornung. Sorry, it's Hornung, but senior fellow at MIT and a deputy director of the National Economic Council under former U.S. President Joe Biden noted that it's an encouraging report, but when you dig a little bit, a lot of what was encouraging about it was in categories such as airfares, which are really not related to tariffs. There's some truth to that. I'm going to be interested in seeing what things look like probably around August, September. I'm curious to see what inflation would be like. If we make it through there, then we're probably in really good shape here. Now, let's get into this right here. The U.S. currently applies a 10% fee to imports as well as much higher levies on goods from China. The U.S. 2-year Treasury yield, which generally moves with expectations for monetary policy, dropped almost 0.1% following the report, below 3.95%. Stocks opened higher with the S&P 500 up 0.1% and morning trading on Wall Street. So now it's going to be weird because you have Trump working a negotiation out, not just with China, but everybody else, right? And you're going to potentially see this. Now, I'm going to make a case for you guys that inflation could spike August. Let's say maybe before then, but I'm going to say August. But then when you go another 3-4 months, because he's worked out a trade agreement with China, that inflation could drop. So what's going to happen is they're going to hound him. Oh, look at inflation on the rise. All the telecoms, right? All the prompters, everybody's going to be talking about wall-to-wall coverage. Oh, look at Donald Trump. The economy's collapsing. You're losing money. Inflation's terrible. The value of the dollar, blah, blah, blah. That's going to be the messaging. And then it will maybe drop again. And we'll see. But I think that's going to be the talking point. I really do. Now, we've been right, folks. I've given you information all the way upwards of 3 years into the future, and we've been right. I mean, I hate to give us a pat on the back all the time, but it's true. It really is true. So here's a few of Trump's talking. I don't want to say talking points, but here's his end of his speech, I believe, at the Fort Bragg. I wanted to show you a few of the clips because this has been really pushed aside on the media lately.
You will hold the flag high and you will do something that's become quite a famous little phrase also, but you're a hell of a lot braver than me. You will fight, 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 and you will win, win, win. Thank you. God bless you. God bless our soldiers, and God bless the U.S. Army. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. You will.
Now, the boys wanted to see him do his Trump dance, and he did it for them. I know I keep saying it, but it is so damn true. It is so true that the troops love him. Can you imagine having an alpha back in the White House as a leader and not some old dude that can barely speak? You know, he can't wipe his own ass. And it's nice to see an alpha back in office, man. God, can you imagine having to go to war with a guy that's wearing a freaking girl's thong? He trips and you just see his balls hanging out in front of you like, holy shit, fuck it, I'm not going to make it home. Lulu, bless you, girl. Bless you. Doge with the $5. Thank you. Only 2 more people. Wow. I'll be honest. I didn't think we would do it, but we might actually do it. I might have to donate my own money to get us across the finish line, but I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the $5. Longtime supporter. Lulu Gumshoe. I think I'm saying that name. I don't know if I've ever said the full name. Just say Lulu. Alrighty. You also got Trump watching flyovers at Fort Bragg. I believe this whole area is Fort Bragg. They're doing drops. Guys coming out. So people have been saying they have a problem with Trump. Like a lot of people are having a problem with the parade, the 250th on the 14th. So I think that's Saturday, I believe. If I have that right. And a lot of people are asking if we're going to stream that. Yes, we will. Oh, 100%. Folks, we got to stream it. Are you kidding me? The stuff we've been through together. You're damn right. We're streaming that. God, get your beers, get your drinks, get everything you can in order. Cause that's what we're doing on Saturday. We're streaming that bad boy. How could you not? A lot of people are like, oh, Trump is acting like a king. I don't have a problem with a sitting president, somebody that has the power to send our troops into war, going and looking at our military. I will say, I think it should be happening more often. Now, I understand we have the Secretary of Defense that's more for that role, like what Pete Hegseth has been doing. But I have no problems with Trump going out, looking at equipment, making sure everything's in order. What does the military, what are the boys looking like? Are they in shape? Are they ready to go? Are they riled up? I got no problems with that. And by the way, I think the troops would see, seen, and heard. I mean, that's what you saw way back when. I mean, we're going back to like Washington time. Wasn't uncommon for him to walk through military areas to kind of see how things are going when he was president, to see how things were working and functioning. I think that's important. You're going to be the one that's going to be leading the brigade and sending people out there. So I think a leader speaks if you're out there amongst everybody else. And that's why Pete Hegseth is working out. So you have this taking place. There's an update for you. Representative LaMonica McLover. That name should sound familiar to you because she's the one that was in a little bit of skirmish at the New Jersey Immigration Center. You remember this lady that was kind of elbowing her way through? We all saw the video clip of that. You have Representative LaMonica McLover, hopefully I'm saying that name correctly, was indicted Tuesday on federal charges alleging she assaulted and interfered with immigration and customs officers outside New Jersey Detention Center. Well, that's surely what it looked like. I mean, we saw, how many angles of the video do we have to see? We saw 2 body cam angles. We saw 2 holistic view angles of the whole thing. I don't know how many angles we need to see of her like a freaking, Detroit Lions defense back, just raining elbows. While New York's mayor was being arrested after he tried to join a congressional oversight visit at the facility. Acting U.S. Attorney for New Jersey, Alina Abba, who is Trump's attorney, announced the grand jury indictment in an X post. While people are free to express their views for or against particular policies, they must not do so in a manner that endangers law enforcement and the communities those officers serve. Correct. Ah, George, I knew it, you son of a bitch. I knew you had it in you.
Oh, George, you don't hate Daddy. George, you love Daddy. Don't you, Georgie?
See, that's a sexy name. That's the sexy name I give George.
Oh, Georgie. Come here, Georgie. Get the lotion, buddy. Put the lotion in the bucket, George, so Daddy can lather it on
you. Oh, people would pay a lot more than $5 for that, George. A lot more. Bless your heart. Bless your heart. All the ladies are like, I could get that for $5. Even some of the guys are like, holy shit. People are fumbling their wallets right now. Like, fuck. People are tripping over freaking bar stools at their home. Like, fuck, I got to get on the stream. Holy shit. I've never seen so many people get out of bed so quickly just to go get their wallets. You sickos. You can't buy me. Holy shit, this stream is wild. Oh, fuck, I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about? George, I fully got into it for you, okay? Now, the great thing for all of you is that is on recording. George, you can watch that later, my bud. I'm telling mom is what he said. You fucker, dude. He said, quote, I'm telling mom.
Oh, she can watch. Go get her. Let her know daddy's in the room for her. I said, let the boy watch.
By the way, that's a movie quote, okay? So don't come at me. That's not being weird. That's actually a movie quote, all right? That's from a bloopers reel. All right, where was I? In a statement, McClever said the charges amounted to the Trump administration trying to scare her. Oh, the facts of this case will prove I was simply doing my job and will expose these proceedings for what they are, a brazen attempt at political intimidation. Intimidation, but, I'm trying to pretend like she can't pronounce it correctly. She was a Democrat and was charged in a complaint by Habba last month with 2 assault charges stemming from a May 9th visit to Newark's Delaney Hall, a 1,000-bed privately owned facility that Immigration and Customs Enforcement uses as a detention center. So that's always fun. Oh, my goodness. Good entertainment, Brad. Yeah, thank you. We might have lost viewers from that one, but that's okay because it's not about the views. It's about if we're having fun or not. It's not always about views. Most of the time, it's not about views. It's about, are we having fun? And do people want to join our fun or do they want to go somewhere else? We have, I wonder if this is here we go. I want to get some updates here, some Business Insider updates for you guys regarding Ukraine. It's been a while since I feel like it's been a while since we talked about Ukraine, right? Ukraine's defense industry says the fight against Russia has shown that the West's approach to weapons is all wrong. Well, interesting. Okay, so this is coming from Yahoo. Ukraine's defense industry is urging the West to abandon its longtime fixation on sleek, expensive weaponry in favor of cheaper, mass-produced arms, the kind needed to survive and win a grinding war of attrition against Russia. Now, here's an interesting thing. I'm not in full disagreement with Ukraine on this one. And the reason why I want to say this is because we've been moving towards more technologically advanced weaponry, obviously. But with the utilization of EMPs, my question has always been for those in the military, what's stopping China, Russia, or any of these mega superpowers from utilizing EMP against our machinery, our GPS, our scanning systems that we have, and just frying the network? And then what are you going to do? And you know what originally made me have that thought? Have you guys seen the movie Battleship? This movie here. The 2012 movie. Have you guys seen this? And so basically, this our advanced weaponry, our advanced ships weren't able to be utilized. And so they had to go take a ship at the end of the movie that was from World War II. That was like the old school, just no bells and whistles, just all gears, right? And human oomph. And they had to use that to fight the battle because they couldn't utilize advanced technology. And that has always been my question. And that was what I really didn't like about Kamala Harris and Joe Biden wanting to electrify all our vehicles, right? No emission vehicles, not gas powered. They wanted to give us electric vehicles in war. Gee, I wonder how that could go south. And so my question has always been, maybe we need to go back to the old school bells and whistles. Can't do that one. Do you know what I mean? I want to know what you guys think about that in the chat. Do you think we're putting too much emphasis on this high technology? Or maybe we do both. I'm not saying it has to be disjoint or mutually exclusive. I think there could be overlap, but I think we're doing too much. And I partially agree with this. So the CEO of the National Association of Ukrainian Defense Industries, which represents around 100 Ukrainian companies, told Business Insider that the West's longstanding focus on fielding limited numbers of cutting-edge systems could be a serious disadvantage in a protracted conflict. Those systems are good to have, but mass is key. I think there's some truth to that, actually. An argument of mass. The war in Ukraine shows you don't need a handful of ultra-precise, expensive weapons. You need a massive supply of good enough firepower. He said that the expensive weapons like the U.S. military, the M982X caliber munition, each shell costs $100,000, don't work when the other side has electronic warfare systems. There we go. Exactly what I was saying. And the kind of traditional artillery rounds that are 30 times cheaper. This individual pointed to the M107, a self-propelled gun that was first fielded by the U.S. in the 1960s as an example of inexpensive firepower that can be effective in large numbers. You don't need 10 archers for the Swedish that are probably one of the best archery systems in the world, referring to the archery, Jesus, you guys, artillery, forgive me. Archers from the Swedish that are probably one of the best artillery systems in the world. He's referring to the artillery systems made by the Bay systems that was given to Ukraine by Sweden. Instead, you need 200 cheap howitzers like the Badana one that Ukraine makes. The enormous rate of damage, a significant rate of ammo and equipment attrition in a fight like this means you need a constant supply of weaponry that keeps on fighting, especially when there isn't any guarantee the high-end weapons will be the game changers promised. And I actually agree with some of that, which is surprising because normally I don't agree with Ukraine all that much. Some jaws dropped just there that I said something good about Ukraine. They actually got it right. So we'll keep you up to date on what's going on with that. Again, kind of the big news right now that everyone's really talking about is the deal with potentially with China, which I think a lot of people are looking forward to. Again, that gives a little bit of stability in the economy. I think it gives people a little bit of assurance of what the heck's going on. You know, we don't ever cover gaming news. You guys okay if I dabble into that just really quickly? Nintendo Switch 2 sales breaks records. Nintendo Switch 2. So some of you have kids, some of you have teenagers, maybe yourselves are into gaming. I game quite a bit, by the way. I've thought about streaming me gaming. Not that you guys would be interested in that, but I think I can reach a new market by streaming gaming, by the way. A lot of streamers do that do politics. They'll also stream themselves playing video games. I grew up playing World of Warcraft, Counter-Strike. I played Cal back in the day. Cal-O, Cal-M, Counter-Strike. For those that aren't aware of that, it's like pro gaming nowadays. So I used to do a lot of first-person shooters. I used to do tournaments. So I've thought about dabbling into streaming, getting on Twitch and streaming for a few hours. The Nintendo Switch 2 has become the fastest-selling game console ever, with sales exceeding 3.5 million units worldwide within 4 days of its launch. Wow. This achievement not only surpassed initial market skepticism, but it also set a new benchmark for console sales speed. The console's success is attributed to its appeal as both a home and portable gaming device, including new features that have resonated with these consumers. Discussions around it launched highlights its significant sales pace compared to competitors like the Steam Deck and emphasized Nintendo's strategic preparation by ensuring an unprecedented stock availability at launch. This has led to widespread acknowledgement of the Switch 2's market impact and its potential to redefine gaming console sales records. Now, I think this is good for the gaming industry, but I think sales for the GTA 6 is going to bounce and pop off. I think that's going to go bonkers and crazy when that launches. I think this fall, if I have that correctly. If I remember correctly, that's going to pop off. Brad, I'm completely clueless with gaming. That's okay. It's not for everybody, by the way. Those gamers must be rich. Probably. But I do game. Brad, I game on PUBG, COD, and NHL and use the stream on Twitch. I would be so into that and could be a great recruiting person for you. Oh, that'd be cool. Okay. It's something I've been wanting to do, but it's something I've never done here on the Ball of Brad channel. You know, I just don't, it's gonna, our audience, so our demographic is pretty much 25 and greater. I'd say probably most of our demographic is 30 and above. Most of my audience is 30 and older, which is great. But you're also missing that younger generation that is leaning more conservative than ever before. And one of the ways you could tap into those markets is by doing something that caters to them. They don't go outside and play anymore, you guys. They're not like us where we're getting dirty, right? We're getting stopped by the cops when we were kids, being silly, you know, doing tricks in the middle of the street. We weren't acting amok, you know, you get a little bit in trouble every now and then. And they don't do that anymore. So they all stay at home and play video games now. You got to reach that market. I think that's important to give conservative thought and ideas in the news out to our youth and, you know, try to attract them and wake them up a little bit of, hey, you know what? Stop trying to trans yourself. That's not really a cool thing. Not really a cool thing at all. Let me see if there's other news here that I feel that is worth covering before maybe we end. We'll see. Let's see what's going on here with Iran. Something going on with Iran here. From fuel to freedom, Iranian truckers lead wave of labor strikes in Islamic Republic. Ooh, you shut down the truckers, man. GG over there. While global attention has remained fixed on Iran's nuclear ambitions and the threat they pose to international peace, a nationwide strike by tens of thousands of Iranian truck drivers launched around May 21st has signaled deeper unrest brewing inside the country. Did anybody hear about this? Did not know this was even going on. Far from faltering under the weight of violent reprisals, judicial intimidation, and empty promises from the clerical regime, the protests swelled, spreading to 140 cities across 30 provinces and inspiring solidarity across diverse sectors. This burgeoning unrest now encompasses bakers, retirees, teachers, oil workers, nurses, women, and activists, signals a profound challenge to the Islamic Republic's authority. With its echoes of past uprisings and its potential to galvanize a broader pro-democracy movement, the current wave of labor protests demands urgent international attention and support to amplify the Iranian people's aspirations for a free and representative government. Interesting. The truckers' strike, which has paralyzed key transit highways, reflects deep-seated grievances rooted in the regime's economic mismanagement and disregard for its citizens' livelihoods. Gee, isn't that what we have been saying here for years? The Iranian people aren't bad. Some of them are, just like some of the American people are bad. Their government sucks. The regime sucks over there. Did we reach our goal? Oh, our goal ends in 3 minutes. Somebody put in a donation. We have 3-minute countdown. Get my fucking head off the window. 3 minutes. It ends in 3 minutes. Shit. Bombs are going to be flying. I'm at the get my own wallet here. We cannot not reach a goal. Will it happen? We'll see. Where are we at here? The catalyst for this unprecedented action was the government's plan to restructure diesel subsidies under the guise of combating smuggling, a policy that would devastate truckers' already precarious incomes. This move mirrors the 2019 decision to hike gasoline prices, which ignited protests in over 200 cities and laid bare the regime's privatization. See, we don't do that in the state of California. It don't matter if our gas prices go up 65 cents over a single vote from Democrats, all of them not voting to stop this from taking place. Yeah, we don't rise up here in California. We just take it. We bend over and we take it. That uprising saw the regime unleash lethal force, killing 1,500 protesters in a matter of days, a brutal reminder of its willingness to suppress dissent at all costs. Sounds like what Hamas is doing. When you go out and protest against Hamas, what do? They delete you. God, it sounds a lot like what China does to the people that protest in their country. You don't ever see them anymore. That's why people don't go do it, because they get deleted. Poof, gone, disappear. Where's Daddy at? Oh, Daddy not coming home no more. Why? Where'd Daddy at? Well, Daddy was protesting the government, and the government took him away. You're not going to see Daddy no more. We have other people saying here. Pat says, I used to be a gamer that streamed on YouTube and Twitch. Starchild says, I play PUBG as well. Let's go. So we do have a lot of people that game. Sea-Dog says, can be first person, but yeah, I get it. It's a weird gameplay. Starchild says, I went back to PC a few years ago. Yeah, I'm not console anymore. I grew up playing console, but not no more. Not no more. If you guys are having a good time, hit that like button. Greatly appreciate all of you. We have 1 minute left. 1 minute left. Are we going to reach it? Who's going to come out on top here? Who's going to save the day? I might actually put in money myself to do this. Please help me. Where are we at here? So Fed rate policy, this came out 18 minutes ago. Today, U.S. Vice President and the Federal Reserve stance on not cutting interest rates as monetary malpractice. So J.D. Vance is coming out saying, look, what you guys are doing is just wrong. This follows the release of the latest CPI data, which shows inflation rates lower than expected, with a month-over-month increase of 0.1% against the anticipated 0.3%. Concurrently, President Trump, via Truth Social, has advocated for the Fed to reduce rates by a full percentage point, arguing that this would decrease the cost of servicing national debt. We'll see, but here's the problem. This is one of my grievances with actually Trump from 2016. And the Federal Reserve did not act quick enough, which I think was in part leading to inflation in the past. So I think it's good that it separates each other. And I think it's good that the Federal Reserve is not necessarily buying into Trump. We did it. Damn it, we did it. Miriam with the $1.49. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Jeff with the $5. Look, it says we didn't reach it, but we did. Okay. It was a late dono, but we reached it. And that's all that matters. It's all that matters. Thank you so much for everybody that donated. We actually reached a goal. This was our biggest initiative, by the way. This was the most we've ever done here in the Bald Brad Show. So I appreciate that. Thank you guys. Keeping me afloat. Appreciate you. God bless you. Appreciate you. So it's nice because we're not running ads, and I haven't ran ads all week on YouTube. And not that YouTube was paying us a lot anyways. Please do not think that they're paying us a lot of money. Please. Folks, I could go make more money selling lemonade on the side of the road. And that's not an exaggeration one bit. But thank you to everybody that donated. Really, you guys work hard for that stuff, and you poured it into the channel. And some of you that donated are actually even members. So not only are you donating, but you're also giving monthly contributions. Appreciate you. Damn. Love you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So here, I think there's an argument to be made that they should hold off. I want to see what happens first in the next 3 months with all these trade negotiations. And that could be why they're holding off as well. I'm speculating here. I have no idea. I mean, you might not even agree with me, and that's okay. But I want to see what happens with these trade agreements, as do I think they do. They probably want to see what happens with the tariffs to see how much it actually affects CPI, how that affects inflation as well. And so I don't really have a problem with them holding off for the time being. We still have 3 years to make things move. And usually when you have the Federal Reserve cut the rates, usually that leads to pretty fast differences in terms of affecting people's lives. So I'm okay with them holding out for a little bit. I don't really have any qualms with that. I would like to see again what happens here. But there's a tiffy. All righty. Well, we reached our goal. We've been streaming for 2 hours. There is no Dark MAGA today. We are going to wrap up our hours for Dark MAGA on Thursday, by the way. That means for the rest of the month, starting next week, Dark MAGA is going to be for the public. Dark MAGA is going to be for everybody, which is awesome because there's a lot of shit going on. We cut Dark MAGA early yesterday so everybody could join us, by the way. We as a community of patriots came together and said, look, we want people to be involved. So that's why we cut it after an hour. And then we streamed the riots yesterday, which is a freaking blast, man. If you weren't with us last night, dude, oh my God, it was too much fun. Way too much fun last night. They couldn't even do any proper rioting. They all left. They went home. I thought they believed in all this stuff. We are the best community. That is correct. That is correct. My hubby built me a gaming computer so I could play the new Harry Potter. Yeah, a lot of people like that game. Harry Potter Legacy, I think is what it's called, right? Thanks, Brad. Thanks, Patriot. The best place to be. You know what? I want to see something. Let's see who actually streams at this hour. So let's go to browse. And, Wendy's on. I'm going to send you guys to Wendy. Thank you so much to everybody who contributed. Appreciate you guys. We're going to send you over to Wendy's podcast. We're going to raid her. We've been there before. She's great. We love Wendy.
And go get some stuff. Wendy's. First of all, our hoodies are the soft.
Appreciate you guys. Take care of one another. God bless you. Thank you so much to everybody today.